YouTube. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The Outspoken. I'm your host, Eric Shepard. We changed things around. I got all cameras and stuff all over the place. I have zero idea what I'm doing. We're live streaming. And this is the first time I'm using all this streaming nonsense stuff. So I should be able, I'm looking down at all the screens and stuff. I should be able to see it. Help me out, man. If stuff is weird and wacky or whatever, let me know. If you can't hear something or you can't hear our guest. Because if you can't hear our guest, that would be a damn shame. Because we have the amazing, incredible DC Douglas, no stranger to drama. I was coming back. And I said, that's good, right? You can't see him. He's laughing somewhere off in the whatever. I'll get to him. So I said, I'm coming back. I'm going to do this thing, And but I said, I want to do it live and just talk to my friends, people that I rep and stuff. And I was like, that's the guy, man. Because my wife was like showing me stuff. She's like, have you seen this stuff on like Twitter and whatever? And I was like, I know. He's crazy. He's going to have like awesome stories. So without further ado, hold on. Let me click. Nope, that didn't freaking do it. I told you I didn't know what I'm doing. There we go. It's our guy, DC Douglas, voiceover extraordinaire. Drinking, what are you drinking there? Mai Tai?
It's a pink lemonade and something sweet that I just grabbed quickly.
Manly, very manly drink.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I like my sugar.
So, Bree says, looks fine. Sounds fine? Yes? I don't know.
Thanks, Bree.
Yeah. Do you know Bree?
No.
She's awesome.
Or I might. I don't know.
She's awesome. Awesome. Does all kinds of stuff. But most
look, you get the thingies on the side.
Yeah, well, watch. Here, look at I got the thingies, and then we could pull them in. Look at this. Wait, hold on. How does that work? I did it before once, and it was freaking cool. Look at it.
Look at this hottie.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you can bring that stuff in. Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then they could see it whenever we're geeking out. I'm using Ecamm Live for any dorks out there. And my beloved 416 and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, nobody cares about that. DC Douglas, amazing. We've got him. Listen, man, you correct me if I'm wrong. But
you're wrong.
Sorry. Like 3 minutes in, I knew it was going to happen. I'm thinking, but I don't know everything. That you're arguably most famous for video game voiceover, at least, in the voiceover stuff that you do. You do other stuff, and we'll get into that. But the Wesker thing, the Resident Evil and Mass Effect, is that, would you agree that is that where most of your fans come from? Is that where you're kind of most well-known? That's how I know you most, but...
I always like, whenever the word fame is used, I kind of laugh, because
it's voiceover fame.
There's like in a niche, tiny world somewhere, there's a group of people that know me. So, and they mostly know me for doing Resident Evil. Albert Wesker back, it was 10 years ago, the big one came out. Actually, the first one I did was 2007, Umbrella Chronicles. And then I did RE5, and that came out in 2009. So that's a 10-year anniversary. It was just recent. And then like the following year, I ended up doing Mass Effect, and then 2, and then Mass Effect 3. And I had no idea that I was in 2 huge video franchises, so that was a blessing. And then I realized these conventions were so great for anime. And I'm like, why am I not an anime? And I'm like, oh, that's right. I stopped doing it in like 1999. So I reached out to people and I said, hey, I want to do anime again because there's these things called conventions. And then so I started to get little things here or there, nothing too, exciting for people. And then I just recently got, through Bang Zoom, I got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, playing Yoshikage Kara. And that is probably my most favorite role right now that I'm doing. And then I've done it in years next to Albert Wesker. So, yeah. But you're right. Yes, Resident Evil.
So you were doing the anime stuff. I know a lot of folks. My wife does it too. And this, for those who don't know, because then that fan base is crazy, is huge. And so the folks go in and, the stuff is already done because, it's big in Japan or whatever. So then, 99% of the time it's dubbed afterwards, and they pay you like nothing. Like here's like $5, and you do the thing. And it's tough, man, because it's animation voiceover, video game voiceover, some of the hardest stuff there is. But you don't make any money doing that stuff. But then you go on the circuit, you do the convention. So that was kind of your experience.
Well, yeah, actually, video games do in LA.
Video games do well, yeah.
Yeah,
not
they pay well, yeah. But yeah, the anime. That's why I stopped doing it in '99 or whatever. Is one, it's harder work because it's very technical. You have to match the lip flaps. But recently, I just did an entire season of a live action Italian show. That's the hardest ADR ever. And I did it because I wanted to get into the studio, and they turned out to be great. I'm actually going to be in something dropping April 1st, which I'll plug later. But anyway, I went and I did that as a way of getting in. And after doing all that work, going back to anime, I'm like, oh my God, anime is really easy now. But yeah, it pays. You cannot make a living doing anime work. So anime is, I mean, my bread and butter comes from doing commercials. And then after that, it would be video games. And the anime is just so I can travel and go to these conventions. I enjoy going to the conventions and traveling. That's the main reason I do it. But that's not even like the main source of my income. It's like things like my Taco Bell commercials that are running right now. Less than. So
okay, kind of so all right, I was gonna ask you about something later, but I'll ask you about it now because we're talking about commercials. What the hell? I'm sure most people don't know what the deal is. What happened with Geico?
You know, it's funny. Most of the people that we got 6 people watching right now or whatever. Most of the people that know me now were probably children then.
To me, it seemed like, because I remember when the drama went down, and it seems like it was yesterday. But that's whatever. I
know, because age is different. Because time is different for us, and when we look back on it. So yeah, that whole thing was just stupid. I was first off, I had no fan base then. Nobody freaking knew who I was, and I had done 2 years of a Geico campaign, an amazing, wonderful thing called they call it the Real People campaign. So you'd have somebody telling their story about their accident, and then next to them would be somebody famous like Little Richard. So it'd be, and the voiceover at the beginning was this voiceover that said. Eric Shepard is a real Geico customer, not a paid celebrity. So to help tell his story, we hired a celebrity. And that was what I did. And then I tagged it at the end. Well, what happened was...
How many of those did you do?
I did 13. Ran for over 2 years. Bought me a house. It was a godsend. It was lightning striking twice because it was when they renewed. To make it a long story short, which is really hard with this one. But it used to be that when I'd see people like Fred Phelps, and can we swear or say bad words here or no?
Please do. I insist.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the whole Fred Phelps God hates fags thing, and back in the '90s that pissed me off. So I called them up and I left them voice messages. That was just like how I'd been, and it felt good. And it was stupid and immature, I know, but
so this for the folks who don't know, this is this insane shit. They have like those neon signs, and they go on. Yeah, God hates fags, and since then, I think like the daughter
Westboro
left,
Baptist
most of
Church.
Them. Thank you.
Yeah. No, the daughter's the one who's running it now, so she's just as.
I thought one of them left. I thought that I don't know.
Oh, a couple of the brothers have left. Well, it's a huge family. I mean, it's this incestuous compound thing in Westboro.
Those religious people breed, man. Okay, so now how do these two worlds come together? You're doing the Geico spots. They're renewing them. You've done whatever, and this is awesome. Well, and then you start talking shit about these crazy psychos.
So here's the thing: is the Geico commercials stopped airing? They were done. I'd made my money. Everything was done. But what had happened is that all the Tea Party racist assholes, and they are that they're now Trumpsters for a lot of them, most of them actually. They all came out because, oh my God, we have a black president who's trying to give health care to people. Yes, I know the issue's deeper than that. But anyway, the Freedom Works was this AstroTurf organization, bust all these asswipes to Washington. And during the day when the Congress was coming in to vote on it, they were yelling shit. And apparently, somebody like a faggot, somebody called, I forget what's his name, called him the N-word. My trigger is bullies. So I like to bully bullies personally. That's my thing. But it's a trigger. It gets me really pissed. And so I just called up FreedomWorks and left them like a bullshit voicemail message using a character name that I've used in many projects. But I left my phone number because I really didn't want to debate them. They called back 2 weeks later after it had passed, and I said, "Yeah, I don't need to talk to you. It passed." But they wanted to verify it was Lance Faction. I go, "Well, no, I'm DC Douglas. I was just using I didn't care. I said I used a BS name, and I said I'm going to go. Goodbye. I don't care." Well, they were recording the conversations, and then what they did is they waited several weeks, and then were monitoring my social media. Saw me post on Facebook that I had just booked a new Geico campaign. Now, the thing was, it was an internet campaign. They only did, I think, 3 spots. And all in all, I probably lost 10 grand is what happened. But anyway, they got me fired from it. The way they did that is they posted on Breitbart.com, is the Tea Party Gecko, is the Geico Gecko a Tea Party crasher? So they basically conflated me with another thing that I didn't do ever. And recently these recent punks trying to make, hay with me, sent that tweet to me saying, Geico, you lost your job as the Gecko. And I'm like, dude, really? You're like 10 years later and you're still getting the information wrong? And so that's essentially what happened. Geico didn't want any part of it, so they recast it with somebody else, and I had no problem with that. I did up a little press release. So I said, I'm going to go after FreedomWorks because fuck them. And that happened. The day that I put it out was the day that it happened to be shooting a tee over a mile long into a hoop. And all of a sudden, I had MSNBC calling me, CNN calling me, Fox News wanted me to come on their show. It was like nuts. And so for a week, I was breaking news on Fox News. Breaking news.
But the story,
anyway.
but like you said, it was conflated. The story was kind of different. So you go on. So you have to go out on the. I mean, of course you have to go because this is like any press for an actor is good. So now what? You go and you go. Well, actually, I was telling these jerk offs that they're jerk offs, and then what? But you don't want to talk smack about Geico, of course, because they were good to you whenever, even though they.
Right. No, I would basically. I had to start off with an apology because I referred to them as mentally retarded. So I start with the apology part, and then I basically try to draw the attention back to what this AstroTurf organization headed by Dick Armey was really all about, and the racism of the Tea Party movement, all of that stuff. And if
Fox
you want to
News was really receptive to that, I'm sure.
Oh, well, it was on Geraldo's show, so it was 50-50. Okay. But if you want to see any of that stuff, I put it all in a very quick joke video. It's called Tea Party PSA, like public service announcement. So just Google DC Douglas Tea Party PSA. You'll find the video. It's got a lot of the news clips at the beginning and one at the end. And you'll get the gist, and then you'll get my humor about it all. It was great because I thought I was going to lose all these clients, and I lost 3 from the Deep South. And then I gained a whole bunch more. And then it turned out that the advertising agency through Geico hired me like a year later on another campaign. And then since then, I've done a few other campaigns with them. And then recently, I've also done a whole bunch of Geico radio spots. So nobody gives a shit anymore. It's like it's gone. The controversy's gone. And we now know what the Tea Party was because we can see it in what they've done with getting Trump.
Well, listen, now that it's gone and it's put to bed, and I'm bringing it back up again and scratching.
Let's see who tries to get me fired.
That's scary. Well, who was it? I can't believe I can't remember his name because Gilbert Gottfried. He lost an insurance job as well, but he lost like $1 zillion. Like that was a huge one. Yeah, what was he saying? Yeah, he was saying it was like a flood. He
made a joke about the tsunami, like within I think like a week of it happening. It was basically a too soon joke.
Yeah, he's so
actually funny. It was a funny joke. It just was too soon for a lot of people. And they said, how insensitive, let's get you fired. Which is, again, it's a stupid thing. If he was like an ongoing racist, white nationalist or something, I can understand trying to get him fired from a job so he's not affecting other people.
Well, yeah, he's a comedian. That's her job, is to be funny.
But he was a comedian. He was doing what he does. Right, exactly. So, it's like I was trying to tell, like, one of the arguments I got, oh, God, so many of those arguments online back then. One of the people I got an argument with, I said, you know what, if I heard you say something stupid about a particular organization or something, how would you like it if I came into Applebee's and tried to get you fired from your waiter job? I mean, you'd think I was kind of psycho. That's kind of what it's like you guys are doing with me, having just left a voicemail message, which, by the way, was illegal when they posted it online. And the recordings they did of me were also illegal. Problem is, because in California, you can't record anybody in California without consent. So I could have gone after them and sued them, but it wasn't worth it.
See, I told you this guy, drama queen, Jesus. In the middle of things.
Oh, it's so funny. I want to tag on to that. Yes. Sorry, too nice. You say drama queen. I'm like, I figured that was like the weirdest freaking, and at the time it was horrible because I was getting audited by the IRS simultaneously. So I thought that Geico gig was going to save me. That's all in the past. But I thought, how weird. That's like lightning striking. First lightning striking getting the Geico gig, then lightning striking with this whole Tea Party catastrophe. Then several years later, I go to see Tower Heist, the Brett Ratner film,
right?
And at the ArcLight in Hollywood, but the end
that was you who saw it.
Yeah, we were about to get up to leave, and the lights come up before the credits are done, and they're bringing chairs out, and turns out it's a Q&A with Brett Ratner. We're like, oh shit, all right, well we'll stay. And within the first 5 minutes of them talking to Brett Ratner, he makes some joke about somebody's a fag or whatever. And I was just kind of like, wow, this guy's a dick. So I tweet from there about the joke, and I forget even what the tweet was about or whatever. And I tweeted, it gets retweeted or whatever. Not a lot. It got retweeted a fair amount. But anyway, the next day, the Hollywood Reporter calls my agent, wants to interview me. Apparently, I was the first one to tweet about it. So the article comes out in the Hollywood Reporter, and it's the tweet that brought down Brett Ratner, losing his job, hosting the Oscars. And I'm like, that was not me. Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, so you're on Twitter all the time. We were talking before we went live, and we were talking about trolls and blah blah blah. But you are you're like the troll. You go after you actually talk to these people. Hold on, this is what started. This is why I wanted to have you on the show, because my wife, I don't know, I'm like 1,000. Well, the president's like way older than me, and he knows how to tweet, but I don't know, I'm like on Facebook with the rest of the grandfathers, you know. So I don't tweet, like if you see me tweet, that's like Lindsay did it. But we're like sitting on the couch, and she's like, do you see this, whatever, like you're going to love this nonsense. So I'm like, what? So it was, hold on, I've got it here. So this dude, I won't even say his name, says, I saw that tweet where you said you did not owe us anything.
Oh, right.
Seems like a bit of an ego issue. Let me pop that bubble. We are the fans. We buy your content. We put food on your table. Without us, you are nothing. You owe everything to us. Don't forget that. And you're like, yeah, no, whatever. Commercials are my thing anyway, so screw you. And then let everybody just destroy this dipshit.
And they did.
See, like I said, it's amazing to me that you just even talk to these people, because I'm like, that was scared,
That was my grandmother tweeting me. So no, I'm kidding.
It's just amazing, and everybody talks about, well, there's anonymity on the internet, and you can be whoever you want, whatever. And these folks, they're like, well, I can be whoever I want, so I'm going to be the biggest asshole. Yeah, exactly, that ever lived. And but so you get, whenever you're out or you have one opinion or whatever, of course, you're right, like you're all like brave, you're behind their computers. You do a lot of this, apparently. Where did this come from?
Sometimes it's funny. I mean, it's like playing with a dead mouse or a dying mouse or something if you're a cat. That's kind of what that reminds me of. But sometimes it's just so ridiculous. It's good to point it out. Sometimes again, like I said, my trigger is being bullied because I was bullied in school, and I have a lot of younger fans in their 20s, and I'm sure there's probably some that are even younger than that, though they shouldn't be on my page because it's not safe for work. It's an 18+ page, really it should be, but nevertheless, it's like I'm out there as who I really am. So, and they're not. They're these anonymous little buttheads. So it's a great way. It's a great way to make examples out of them, to show other people you don't need to be scared of these people. You can stand up to them, especially if logic is going to just make them fall apart. And it's also, if you're going to come at somebody mean to begin with, which is what I love, is somebody will come at me being an asshole, and I'll come back an asshole back at them, using their same language back at them, and they'll go, you could have been a little, courteous about it. it's like you get what you put out. So, yeah. So, I mean, the only time that I do that where I just go out mean is when I'm talking to a corporation or something. I just tweeted something very nasty to CNN because they had what's his name from Breitbart on blanking, old man moment. The little white nationalist guy that got fired, his face has always got sores. Bannon. So they had Bannon on there, and I'm like, well, when they're treating him like, he's got important things to say, it's a fucking racist. He's a known white nationalist racist who's on your network talking. And so, of course, I just kind of sent a nasty tweet. So that's when I'm probably not behaving properly. But I wouldn't do that to.
Who are you arguing with now? Because you're being attacked. Okay, first of all, I was telling him this before too. You go on Twitter and there's 8 million people that are arguing with them. So then I'm trying to find some clips. I have some fun clips. Here, you know what? I'm going to use this as a segue because this is too funny. Hold on, let me see.
What are you up to?
You feel it?
Feel what? That thing that just swam by my leg. Well, you thought it.
Well, there's a controversy here because you don't really know if I'm eaten at the end or not. It's hard to say.
Did you come back and Sharknado 18?
No, I didn't. That was the only thing. I tried. I really tried. I love the guys at the Asylum. I've done 8 films there, and I did 3 episodes of Z Nation with them. And the Davids, I love them. I would love to do more with them because it's just fun. There's a lot of creative freedom for your character and stuff. And yes, it's low budget and you know, whatever you think of those kind of films, but it's fun. So, and I'm an actor. I enjoy, like, I'd work. I don't care about the kind of money that I make when I do on-camera work because I just enjoy it so much. And the voiceover is where I care about how much money I make because that's the day job. So, but yeah, that's why I love doing Asylum movies. That was shot in Buffalo in January, and that water was freezing cold. Yes, and it was all in my boots. So when I'm running at the end, and it looks like I'm running like I've got an issue running, it's because my boots are filled with water. So it's very hard to run that way.
Hold on, I found more, and then I'm going to talk about when I was searching for you. But look, I found more because you do a lot. Do you? This is like such a cheeseball question, but it's a fair question. Like, do you consider yourself? I mean, obviously, this show is about voiceover. So, is it more of a voiceover actor or you're just an actor?
Oh, well, you know, no.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, and be like, oh, I'm a thespian. Like, I'm.
Well, it's kind of funny. There's certainly stages to a career. So when I moved to LA, I was a theater actor who was trying to be a film and TV actor. And then I started getting more film and TV. And then voiceover started happening. So I was a film and TV actor who also did voiceover. Now all I do is voiceover. And I'm not even pursuing film and TV that much. I literally had a whole career change about a year and a half ago where I thought they've changed the way, there's a lot of projects happening, but they're filmed in so many different places now and cast in so many different places. And also it's changed. It's like, they're so much more open to other ethnicities, which is fantastic. But that also means that there's a lot of 50-year-old white guy character actors. Many of them have way more credits than I do. So I thought, I'm going up against them, and it's like, it's not. And it doesn't matter to me as much anymore, especially the TV stuff that was, because the stuff I'd get would be like Lawyer Number One or The Doctor or that kind of stuff.
Hold on. Let's see.
Do you have a database for that?
Sure. Oh, Jesus.
Can you check it out?
Just take a minute or two.
Wait, check out the computer, because it's really...
I have the information about your Mr. Harper. I don't know who your friend thinks he's fooling, but he is definitely not commissioned to perform marriages. You did say the wedding took place in California.
Yes, on a boat.
At sea?
They weren't in international waters.
Then he's governed by the state. We catch him, he's in deep doo-doo.
How about the people he supposedly married?
They changed the line on us.
Those poor folks are not
the
husband and wife.
The producer was like,
not on the eyes of the law.
doo-doo. Like, okay.
Thanks for your
That was
time.
ad-libbed.
Clark, I'll talk to you.
Hey, wait a second. Thornton, where are you going?
That's bold and beautiful, and I've done 26 episodes of that show.
You've done a lot of soap operas.
Yeah. Well, that's,
I have more.
that's the easy stuff then.
This
stuff I enjoyed. This was the most, but it was my most rewarding arc I ever had on the show.
Who's this? This dude's been on soaps
Get your
like
new partner in your
forever,
wife's
hasn't he?
fancy clothing business.
My mother.
Yes.
Hold on, we have to.
Back
Cash through
when I used
nice
to edit
and
demo
clean.
reels,
Do you have
I
any
edited
idea of the
his.
people involved here? You got Michael Baldwin, Joe's brother-in-law, former DA, a close personal
It's not a
friend of the
flattering
chief
shot.
of police. Why don't you try picking his pocket as well?
Wow.
Trust me, from experience, it's hard to get money out of someone when they're
I look
behind
better with
bars.
a T.
From inside the office,
Well, no, they just have you from the side, the front.
care how you do it, as long as it gets done.
My mother used to watch soap operas when I was little, and I think I remember that guy from. She used to watch General Hospital. I think he might have been like a soap guy. Anyway,
My first soap.
But you've
my
done
first
other
soap is
cheat.
General Hospital.
You did 90210, and that's like the king of cheese right there. But then you did NYPD Blue. That was a real thing. You did Days of Our Lives, Young and the Restless. I spent like 4 minutes checking freaking IMDb. That was like the extent of my whatever. You did Transform. Now let's get back to voiceover. You did some Transform,
Sure.
and then we'll go back to the other stuff. You did Transformer. That's like a big thing. You did Family Guy, but it looks like you did like one episode.
Yeah, no, actually, I did. I went in. It was weird auditions and stuff, and he's very specific in what he likes.
There seems to be a lot of people who've done one episode, because I know a lot of folks, and then they go, "Yeah, I was on Family Guy," and then you look at it and you go, "Yeah, you did what?" And like, did you like shit in the punch? Like, what is why? There's a lot of folks that only do one.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the story. I actually ended up doing 2, but I think he replaced me in the other one. Yeah, the first one that I did is where I did the Superman line, and it was literally that was a half-hour session to do one line because he just needed to have it done a certain way. But it's
This is
when you hire
McFarlane is directing.
Yeah.
So you're in studio with the rest of it. It's not. This isn't like an ISDN thing. Like this is like the real.
No, you go there, but it's one person at a time. At least for that kind of stuff. It was just me in the booth with him.
There's no table read with your
but
Superman.
it's funny. Oh my God, there's a funny story to that though. What is her name? The petite. What's her name? Starts Misha.
Oh,
she's on the show.
That's yeah. Well, she was replaced too, or for like a season. She wasn't
there. She dated him as well. Is anybody talking? Nobody's talking on the thing. I can't read. Okay. Oh, what's her name? She's famous. She was in the movie with Justin Timberlake. Yeah. Okay, well, that's her. Whatever her name is. Okay. Right. Just so you know, I'm in the waiting room for a half.
Yeah, she's adorable. She's awesome.
I'm waiting for a half hour to get into the waiting room, and this really cute girl sits next to me and just is funny as heck. And look at me, I'm heck. And anyway, but I'm just like really loving and enjoying the company. But and then at the end, after I finish my session, I go over to her and I go, I just have to shake your hand. You were very funny and entertaining. And I shook her hand and I left. And then I realized it was that girl. And I'm like,
Mila
holy
Kunis.
shit. I just felt like this famous actress.
She's watching right now. She's a big fan of The Outspoken, and you just.
Oh, is she?
No.
Well, then I like to apologize. I didn't realize you were who you were. So.
You blew your shot with Mila Kunis. She's doing that.
I think she was already dating him at that point. So
I don't know if she does any other voiceover. Now she's doing freaking commercials, man, for like whiskey or something.
Well, she's getting really good money for that.
Yeah, but she wasn't on for a season. I don't think it was. I think she might have been on for the first. I don't remember what the deal is, but for at least one season, she wasn't Meg, and then she was back. So I don't.
But she might have been off doing movies or something. Or
she's freaking great. Like that's a good show. I'm not make fun like some of his stuff. I was like, man, but derivative, whatever. But it's it's a great show, man. And now it's been on the air now for a zillion years. But she's just perfect, man. Like that casting, a lot of the casting on that show is spot on. But
a lot of good actors on there.
Yeah, he seems difficult though. I mean, well, yeah, if you were there for a half hour to do one line, then I guess he is difficult.
I'm not gonna say anything more about it.
Oh no, you're gonna just talk smack, just destroy him. No, he seems like a nice guy. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't seem nice, but yeah, he seems like exacting. Like you said, that's all. There's nothing wrong with that. That's
I think probably in his beginnings he was doing all the voices. So you've got a vision, you want to do it a certain way. So I can get that.
Yeah. Well, look at the South Park guys. Like to voice for them would be like, oh my God, it would be so tough because they do so many themselves, and they're very exacting as well. They got a thing that they want, and they use the same type of voice. And I think Family Guy kind of does too. There's they go for that almost real but not quite, type of voices. But there's a similarity between them that you think like, they kind of ancillary character voices. You always think, oh, well, it's all must be the same guy, and it's not. I think he's got like a taste, that he likes. And then whoever's casting over there, like Linda's casting or something, I think they just find, that.
There was the other one I went in on. I get checks for, but I know I'm not in it. It was one of the Star Wars parodies. And it was literally like a stormtrooper who's got one sentence. But the thing is, I was told when they hired me, they go, okay, just so you know, he's already fired 2 other people from this to do this one line of this stormtrooper.
No pressure.
And exactly. So I go in and I'm feeling the pressure, and I go.
But what are you supposed to sound like? A stormtrooper? Like there's no.
Just a stormtrooper. It's just that.
But they don't talk in the originals. Oh no, I guess they do. Yeah, they do.
They do.
Man,
but it's
I just lost so much nerd cred. Yeah, they do.
We're over there. It's like it's just basic, white man sounding stuff.
Right.
But I literally tripped over the sentence the first 2 times I tried to do it, and he kind of chuckled and he said, "Yes, a lot of people are having a problem with the line." Which in my mind is like, if all the actors are having a problem with the line, maybe you need to rewrite the line and not replace the actors.
Yeah, maybe it's you. Maybe it's.
But I think in the end run, he actually does the voice himself, and they gave me like a voice's credit on the episode, even though I was cut. So that was nice of him.
So you you kind of escaped the curse of one, but not really. You did one.
Yeah.
That's weird. And then you did What was Transformers?
Transformers Rescue Bots.
Yeah.
It was a children's show. It was actually my first TV series. 2012 through maybe did 4 years. So we started in 2012, I think. Amazing cast. That we all still stay in touch to this day. So Jason Marsden, Maurice LaMarche, Amari Williams, Shannon McCain, Steve Bloom, Lacey Chabert, Oh my God, LeVar Burton, Mark Hamill was recurring. It was. I know I'm forgetting somebody.
Mark Hamill's not going to talk to me because I just said the stormtroopers didn't talk, so that's it. Now he's not.
He'll forgive you. He's a sweetheart. It was an amazing cast. It was a great experience, directed by Ginny McSwain, I'm forever grateful. And Nicole Dubeck, who was the creator or co-creator on that show. I'm so bad with like titles of people, whatever. She's gone on to like win a lot of awards and do other stuff. She's now working on The Rocketeer for Disney, and I was very thankful I got brought in to do a couple episodes of that. So I'm looking forward to when those air. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't think it matters. Anyway, that's going to be a great show, The Rocketeer. So.
We'll cut that out. Oh, it's live.
It's live.
It's live.
That's good.
Live to whatever, 18 people. Okay.
Oh, we have 18 people? That's pretty cool.
We've got questions.
All right.
I went out. You're not as popular as I thought, I guess. I don't know, man.
No, I really am not.
Yeah. It's funny. You were saying it before, too. You were talking about, like, voiceover and, like, famous. And I love that, man. Like, I know everybody in voiceover. And every once in a while, like, they try it on. Like, they get something big, and they're like, I'm going to try to act like I'm, like, famous. No, you're not. That's not, like, there's no famous. The Don was maybe close, but there's not. That's not, like, a thing, man. There's no trailer outside for you. Like there's a reason that they list you like after like the best boy in craft services and whatever. There's like in the movie. That bad. Like no, they do, man. In feature films, you're like last because no.
Oh right.
That's you're not like a real like you can walk down the street. Like don't.
Oh yeah, no. Though in an airport once somebody stopped me because they recognized my voice. That was the only time though. But I wanted to say is. Jeff Nimoy is a voice actor and director. You guys probably know him from Digimon. And he directed me recently, both in that live-action ADR I was doing, and then also in this new project I can't tell you about, I don't think, but it lands April 1st. I'm going to tell you at the end of this. Anyway, April
keep
1st
drinking
like
that
Monday.
Pink thing, man. You'll just
I'll tell you
throw that NDA out the window.
I didn't sign one. That's why I think I can say. And also because my voice is in the trailer, so I can say now. I'll just say it then. So April 1st on Netflix is Ultraman, debuting both in Japan and America simultaneously through Netflix. And
you heard it here first on The Outspoken. No? Too much?
No, that was perfect. Yes. So I'm excited. I play a character. The voice I have to actually modulate as though it was done in post, but they don't do it in post. So when I'm talking, I have to be talking like this and go up when I think it's like all of that kind of stuff. It's very trippy.
So you're doing that live,
I'm doing
and then they screw with it afterwards.
Nope, they don't screw with it at all.
Really?
It's just me doing that set with my voice.
Really?
I play an alien. So the upside of it is I didn't have any lips to match, so that was good. Check it out.
It's a new thing, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So not new thing. It's because it's an alien that literally has no lips. So.
That helps. No.
Yeah, but no. Anyway, what I was trying to say about your whole point is Jeff Nimoy also just produced his first full feature film. That's probably going to hit the festival circuit, and it's called Famish, and it's literally about a voice actor who had fame from a particular anime and then goes to conventions. And it's very funny. It's very cute. Actually surprisingly tugs at your heart when you least expect it. So, but and there's Lex Lang is in it and some other people. It's really good. Anyway, I just saw a premiere of that last week. So
it is an ish fame because you're right. Those folks, like we were talking before, the anime folks, and like any of these fandom people, you're famous to them. Those are really into like their people, I mean, those are, if you walk down the street, obviously, they would know who you are and they want your, sign your headshot and stuff.
I look at it like two things. If somebody's trying to use it against me, so somebody goes, you should be more like this or that because you have a responsibility to, and like the role model bullshit argument, and then I'm like, fuck you, I'm not that famous, and even if I was, it still wouldn't matter. I'd take like the Ron Perlman route of stuff. But the flip side is, if you meet somebody who is just so emotionally attached to a project they watched over and over and over again, I know what that's like. Because if I met Elizabeth Montgomery from Bewitched, I would have been, when I was that age, I would have been crying myself and shaking. I was shaking as it was when I met Tim Curry. So though Tim Curry's pretty freaking famous. But you know what I mean? It's like whatever it is, that thing that you were so into. So they were, whatever it was, and they were going through a hard time in school, and then they found refuge in that anime or that video game or that cartoon. And it's like, I'm going to respect that. Then I'm going to go, and they go, you're famous, and I'm going to, I might be sheepish about it, but I'll accept it. And because I am to them in that moment, and that's important to me. So
it is. Well, and like you said, especially for the folks who are doing like the anime stuff, I mean, that's their job. That's how you're getting paid actually for doing that stuff, is doing the convention thing. And and being famous, famous to those people. The fandom, hold on, I had some questions.
All right.
From people.
I'm worried.
We'll go. No, I don't know, because I don't even know what they're talking about, because these are the fans. The fans said, like I said, was asking if they had questions. I have no idea
That comes
what
in
this means.
big. Why doesn't he wear his hat more?
Is this some insider thing?
It's because I shower. If I didn't shower, I'd wear it all the time. This is bad hair day. This is why I wear the hat.
Yeah, that's when I grab my hats too, man. I actually got a haircut today.
Oh, congratulations.
No, I never got. I always cut it myself, but then I look like I cut it myself.
This is probably why it's good you went somewhere else.
Yeah, I got.
I noticed your
not that this
fit
isn't
better.
a thing, but I got a thing tomorrow, so I got to do it. I got to look like presentable, like I'll shave.
With your East Coast accent, and you say I got a thing tomorrow, it really sounds like you're gonna go whack somebody. It really does.
I gotta talk to a guy about a thing. Here's the other question that I found, and then we'll pull questions from these folks.
You have more hate for Chris than Jill?
I have no idea what this means.
Yeah, that's a whole that's a Resident Evil thingy.
Wow.
But oh my gosh, it's like I don't live as Wesker, so it's so hard for me to answer these questions, especially after all this time. I always go, well, why do you think that? I would say, why does he have more hate for Chris than Jill? It's because with Jill he just wants sex, but with Chris he really wants love.
Wow, that's insightful.
Yeah,
it is actually. Okay, what are people? All right, what are people saying on the thing?
On the thing.
On the thing.
Oh, the thing. It's a great PSA. Thank you. You're cute when you swear. Oh, that's good because I swear a lot.
Yeah, damn.
Talk about your opinion of Vic Mignogna. I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to take that bull by the horn.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Yeah, work. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
okay.
Look at that, right? Okay, so you know what? Let me segue into this one because this is, again, we touched on this a little bit. This is again, you talk to these people like on Twitter and stuff, and this stuff stemmed, again, from these fandoms, these people, these super fans, and they're big fans of us. They're fans of voiceover people, as part of the character. And like you said, they're very... this is a huge thing for them that they're into this show or they're into that show, and then of course,
especially that show because they grew up with that. So,
well, and there's so many of these things. So you got these super fans for this thing and super fans for that, and again, I know, and my wife's starting to get into that stuff, and then you get and then some of them are scary, but there's a problem in some of these fandoms, and this isn't like a sweeping generalization or whatever. So I apologize if it sounds like that. But there is in some of the video game fandoms and definitely the anime fandoms, and there is a subsection or subgroup of these that it's like almost violent misogyny. That this like girls are yucky thing, but it's coming from grown men. Like these aren't 7-year-olds, that are out there that are on Twitter or whatever, blah blah. Like these are supposedly grown ass men, and what is that movie that's out now? It's like a superhero movie. It's got a female
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they were like showing up on Rotten Tomatoes before it even came out and panning the thing because there's a girl on the thing, and they were like, "What are you? Like, how old are you? Are you insane?" And these types of people, it seems, are going after you because you got embroiled into this Vic thing. Because if there's some dramatic thing happening, you're a part of it.
Yeah, no. But that's the thing is, I'm not a part of it. But they wanted to drag me in because it was, and I'll tell you why. So, but so you hit on several things there. and actually, what's gone on with that whole Vic hashtag war or whatever is definitely a microcosm of what happens with these other larger national issues, and like the Captain Marvel stuff. In that there is, first off, yes, there's a lot of misogyny. This is what the whole Gamergate thing was about, anyway, I wouldn't get into that stuff. But there, you talk to any female gamer, and there's, by the way, they make up maybe even more. They may make up more than 50% of the people that play games. But ask it when they go. I forget what they call it when you go and you connect to other strangers and you all can play the game as a group and talk to each other. Most of these girls have to put it on mute or have to pretend that they're not, change their name and avatar so that they don't know that they're a woman, because of the way they talk to them once they realize they have different genitalia, and so it starts young. And those guys did get older, and they got more political, and so those are the ones that you're hearing now on the, like Captain Marvel stuff and all of that. So yeah, when you say it's a huge problem in the anime community, it's a huge problem in any group of people that you get. And the other thing is we may evolve as a culture, but it doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, as they say with history. And it's the same thing with, I think, cultural awareness. So even though a certain generation finally comes to realize, hey, maybe we should all be like equal, then there's the other generation that's coming up behind that hasn't quite gotten the message yet. And so they express that kind of ignorance a little differently, or in a new or via a new platform, a technology platform such as gaming or something. So anyway, there's that thing. But about the Vic stuff, what I wanted to say is I've never said that I was hashtag this or hashtag that. When I made any statement, it was initially when the stories came out, is I said support these people that come out with their stories. Don't attack them. You can still withhold judgment of Vic if you'd like, because you're not judge and jury. And that's all I said. And then, of course, what are people doing? They're all attacking the victims and all of that. And it's all so black and white. And then once you hashtag something and it becomes that kind of a thing, it's just an idiocy. It's a war idiocy. And the problem is that half the people that are on those hashtags are very young. And so we all start, thinking in tribal terms first, and only later do we see more gray in the world and nuance. And so I think that's a big part of what initially happened. But I think somebody either had a little troll farm or bought a little troll farm, because what happened is, and I'm good at spotting trolls, because I remember the Tea Party stuff, and I remember the Trump election, and looking into these accounts. And there's ways that you can tell, even if you don't run an algorithm machine on them. You can all go into their account and look at things, and there's a lot of telltale signs. But that hashtag got, I say taken over, but to be more specific, got co-opted by this little troll farm, either working for free or not. And it's definitely a troll farm, because it's the same 5 people that are generating 50, 60 accounts and coming back at you, especially if you block them, because they're using the same language and they're referring to stuff they said in their other account, all of that. And they're making hay with it to make political points. There's a larger point to it. So when I'm commenting on something on CNN about Trump, and then somebody comes back at me and they're like, why do you want to see the Mueller report? Why can't you just believe Barr? Because and that's why you should. Isn't it like believe all women? And why shouldn't Vic is innocent until proven guilty? I'm like, what? Wait, we were talking about Barr and Mueller and political corruption that has nothing to do with this other stuff going on over here. So that's my big beef, and that's why I've stayed like kind of back and forth, kind of dancing with it, is because I like to point out that shit. Because that's just the utter bullshit. And every now and then there's people, they come at me black and white with assumptions based off of misinformation, just like, you're the Geico Gecko. No, I was never the Gecko. That kind of stuff. It's just like, freaking do your research first before you go attacking somebody. And even then, why are you attacking them? If you did the research on me, you'd go, I took a nuanced stance. They don't know how to fucking respond to it. So they have to put me into one category or the other category. But I'm neither. So that's my opinion on it. As I initially said in my thread a long time ago, I met Vic in several conventions. I've seen his table. It's usually covered with people, so I don't can see what's going on there. And that's all I know of the guy. I'm not from Texas. I've never lived in Texas or worked for the Texas companies. Funimation did a remote thing here with me 4 years ago for 1 hour for One Piece, and that was it. So I don't know anything about that. So am I withholding a judgment on it? Yeah, I was for a long while. Now, after the amount of stories that come out, and Funimation and Rooster Teeth doing their internal investigations and coming to their things. It's like, well, there's a lot of smoke. Anyway, but other than that, I don't give a fuck. I don't really give a fuck. I don't know him. And just because you love a cartoon or an anime so much doesn't mean that because that person may be guilty of those things or some of those things, most likely some of those things, because we know a lot of young people also start just getting crazy with silly stuff like, he looked at me weird. But even if he is guilty of some of those things, you can still love the show. You can still love the character. You can do all of that. It's the kind of the tribal jingoistic bullshit stuff that then gets people acting stupid.
Well, that's what's so weird because again, the fandom is so like it's such a. This is my theory. Again, this is a small subset, but I think you have some of these dudes, and they're kind of like stereotypical kind of geeky dudes, and so they're not getting laid at all, like they didn't shake. Like
Eric,
listen. Are here. they didn't. Again, this is a small, but I think these are the ones that go violent. Like the they didn't date the cheerleader, so instead of like hating themselves or like being cooler like normal people, they just start with this. Like now they're woman haters. So now they don't like women. So now they used to have a thing that was more male oriented. There were more like when I was growing up. Like girls weren't into that stuff, like there's like the D&D guys, like those were like the, like the hardcore guys that, that like this stuff. And now everybody's into it and all these girls are there and they're still stuck in this girls are yucky kind of thing. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. So that any woman who's saying anything about like their beloved, and again, this is a dude who voices something that you like you're confusing the person with the product and the whatever, and it's amazing how strong these feelings are. And if you want to,
it's idolatry. So,
well, but it's not. But the other thing, when you have folks that are like death threats, that's not like you scamp. Like you're such a like that. That's like go to fucking jail, dude. Because there are women that are like, they hear something in the middle of the night. They're like, is that some crazed psycho that's going to kick down the door? Because they didn't like that I defended myself over some guy who does a thing in the cartoon that they like. That's the most insane thing that I've ever heard.
But what I want to say about that also is in what you were describing about those guys and all. And one of the points I was initially going to make is that ignorance and hate is taught to you. You learn that from your environment. So it's not like, I love D&D, and all of a sudden the yucky girls have come in. It's you've thought girls were yucky all along, and you also had this idea of this privilege that this game is just our game. And but that hate and that kind of that just stupid thinking is taught. It's taught by your environment, by your family, by your friends, what have you. And then when you get older, and if you have not come out of it, if you've instead used things to reinforce it, or maybe you have mental issues as well, but it's then it comes out in those horrific, death threats bullshit. There's an account called By Philippe on Instagram, like By Felicia, but it's By Philippe, and it's women, adult women, who to differentiate from like young families. Whatever, and it's about the messages. Ooh, I froze. Oh, there I am. It's about the messages they've gotten from guys that like try to hit on them, and maybe they politely say no, and then it's about how they come back at them because they're semi-anonymous or just just assholes. Anyway, check it out. It's on Instagram. It's called By Philippe. And when you start to look at it, you realize the kind of vitriol and like how dangerous it is to be a woman sometimes. I've never had to worry about somebody like making death threats to me and saying just vile shit just because I wasn't interested. Anyway.
Well, that's the thing.
This is one of the things you and I could go on for so long about.
Yeah, I still don't understand how you got embroiled and now there's Trump, MAGA, Vic. What the hell, man?
Well, that's what I mean. That's that troll farm overlay. Part of it's from this lawyer guy that they got, who is political. He's more on conservative side. Some say alt-right, whatever. He posted, apparently he has a picture on his Facebook page where he posted, he dressed up as his friend. His friend is black, so he's wearing blackface. I posted that saying, guys, be careful about giving money to this thing, because at the time, he did not have authorization from Vic to be collecting money in his name. And I said, just be careful of this guy. By the way, here he is in blackface. I didn't call him a racist. I just put up the picture. The picture says everything. And of course, that was when I think his followers, that lawyer's followers and all, they're political, but they started to come at me. They went through all of my tweets to find shit. And they found a video I did a year ago where I was at the Denver airport, which I was just there, by the way, this weekend. And I went into the women's bathroom, but I didn't film. So there. Anyway,
what is this?
No,
This keeps popping up too. What the? I have no idea what the. Okay.
Well, if you watch the video, it's a stupid freaking video. In fact, I deleted it from my Instagram because
it's there forever. Forever.
Well, the thing is I walked into this bathroom because I just gotten off the flight, or I just was getting there for a flight. I forget. Anyway, I went into the bathroom. Oh yeah, it was from the flight. I had to pee really bad. The sign said men's. I followed the arrow. I went into the bathroom. The signs are off when you, depending on the angle you come at them. And I end up in the women's bathroom. I don't know this. It's empty. I go right to a stall because I had some business to do. And so I'm done with my business, but all of a sudden I realize I'm hearing women's voices all around me in the bathroom. I'm like,
no, now you're stuck. You can't leave.
Well, I'm like, what the fuck
forever.
are they doing in the men's bathroom? And then I realized, oh, I'm the one that fucked up. So I pull out my phone because this is a funny moment of DC being stupid again, and that's all I do. I make fun of myself on my account. So I pull up the thing, and I'm going to do a thing where I thought I was catching their voices so that they hear that I'm in the wrong bath. And I kind of pan over to where the tampon dispenser is. That was the dead giveaway when I saw that. I'm like, what is that? Oh. So I pan over. While doing that, I unplanned, obviously, a fart is heard, not mine. And then it was like, ooh. And then, of course, the second part of the video is me pointing to the things. And I posted it, and then I get into the Uber, and then I'm like, I don't want a woman's fart on my Instagram. That's gross. And so I went and I deleted it. But it auto-posted to Twitter. So the next day, I'm on Twitter looking at my mentions.
How long did it take until you came to the realization, I don't want a woman's fart on my... I don't know if that's the first time that phrase has been uttered, but somehow I think it's not.
Yeah. But it was pretty quickly after I got into the Uber. I mean, again, I had to get out there and go. But then I'm in the Uber and I'm like, I don't want that on there. I delete it. The next day, there's comments on Twitter. I'm like, oh, I forgot to get auto post and I didn't delete it from Twitter. I'm like, it's got 100 likes. I'm like, they're laughing at it. Okay, they're not grossed out by it. I'll leave it. And that was it. I thought they'd be grossed out by it, not like,
so now you're the pervert
in the woman's back. That's what these guys did. And again, how do they do it? They do it with misleading, headlines and things like that. DC Douglas films women in bathroom. That's not the what the fuck thing I did. DC Douglas is the Geico Gecko. I was never the Geico Gecko. It's like and it's what they do all the time with the politics bullshit. And it's people that do that to try to get either clicks or they try to just outrage people with misinformation like that. Those are shitty people, and there's a lot of them online. So
yeah, see, that's why I'm not on Twitter, man. I'm not even on Facebook. Like I am, and I put stuff on Facebook all the time, and then I like auto tweets. But I'm like a selfish lover. Like I go there and post something, and then I leave. I'm not reading what you say or whatever. Yeah, and then it's like, and my wife's like, you got to be on Twitter, and everybody's on Twitter and whatever. But then I'm like, now I got to read everybody's tweets too. Like I'm supposed to read thousands of people.
But this is the difference between Facebook and Twitter. This is why I'm actually not. I'm on Facebook auto-wise. I auto-post to my fan page. I don't do the personal page at all. I have to have it in order to have the fan page. But
you left Facebook, didn't you?
I left because of the privacy breaches as well. But I also left because it's a long. If you're going to interact with them, it becomes a very long interaction. It becomes a lot of time. And if you're doing the personal Facebook, then I'm completely lost in looking at how everybody else is presenting their lives as great. And it's like, that's after a while. I'm like, I should go live my life. Twitter I like because I've got a moment here. I've got my coffee. I'm outside. It's nice weather. I'm going to get into a little debate with somebody. But then, I got to go pee and I'm done. And I don't have to go back. I'm not obligated to look at what everybody said to me and all of that. Because it flows away. On Facebook, it stays and waits for you. And that's why I didn't like Facebook.
Yeah, I gotta just do it. Lindsay's she's like 10 years younger than me, so she's always like, right, probably. But then you hear stories like this, and you wind up with all, it just seems all the drama freaking happens on Twitter. But yeah, maybe that's fun, man.
That's the anonymous stuff too. I've met a lot of great people through social media.
Do you do LinkedIn a lot?
Oh, fuck no. I mean, I do that again. I auto post to LinkedIn, but it's like, no, I don't. I really want to know what new. I linked with somebody yesterday because I just go and I say yes to all the links, and I linked to this some actress in England, and she's like, "Thanks so much for linking with me. I've got this great business plan for actors to make money on the side." I'm like, oh,
everyone's got
it's like this is not what I want.
I have to be. I'm a talent agent for those who don't know. So like you can't not be on it, So yeah, every day it's like 10 people, and they want to and then every once in a while it's a producer, and then I'm like, am I supposed to be like go, So then you got to kind of be that person, and like sell them. And then even again, like she's like my social media director or whatever, and she's like, you can't just give them like the hard sell with the URL. Like you're supposed to be like, hey, thanks for the whatever. I gotta have whole conversations on like another
whole other
platform or whatever.
Thing.
Yeah, like I'm like, man. And then then you have other folks that are like, even other agents that are like, we do so much work on LinkedIn and whatever. And it's like, oh, well, then you have to. And you know what it is? It's like all of them are just like another like obligation, So it's like I gotta get started now on this thing. But you're having fun with it, so. Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you, I started having fun with it when I stopped trying to be an actor. When I stopped trying to present myself as, hi, working actor today at this job, working actor today at this job. I want to thank the producers of the so-and-so and at the so-and-so studio. That's what I was doing until I got caught up in the Geico stuff, the Tea Party stuff. And then after that, I was like, yeah, you know what? I have opinions, and I'm going to let them rip. And since then, I've been being yourself, being genuine online, is so much more rewarding. And I am who I am. It's my name. It's like I'm not hiding behind anything. So I have to stand behind the shit that I say and apologize when I've fucked up. And I've fucked up plenty of times online and I've had to come back and apologize. I tried to start a discussion because I thought it'd be interesting. I was in this anime called Backstreet Girls, which I really enjoyed. But I'm also not a trans person. And I started to see some criticisms about it from the trans community. And I went, this would be a good time to have a discussion about it, because I think that the show is actually purposefully subversive and it's pro-trans. But in 260 or whatever characters we're allowed to give, it's hard to make that argument. And if you're not, and I wasn't aware of who I was talking to when I initially tried to do it, I insulted the person completely by basically doing, mansplaining or I don't know, cis-splaining or whatever. And I got called on it, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I was being an asshole there. And I apologized, pulled the stuff back, and I realized there's some stuff that you can't have a nuanced thing with unless you are there in person. Or you know them well. So when I went and talked with my trans friends about it, and they were like, well, whatever. And I'm like, oh, really is a lot easier in person, isn't it? But I like the show. I'd love to have a discussion. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. It's like you have to, when you are who you are and you're not anonymous, it's apologizing is admitting your mistakes and apologizing is really good for your soul.
But but it's so much of it is nonsense now, because anybody says anything, and they, like we were talking about, like a comedian or something, and that's like their job, to be funny. And then some.
But notice there's pushback.
It doesn't matter what you say; somebody's going to be upset about it or offended, and then now they got to pull out the apology. So it's like, oh,
no.
You remember back in the day, you used to have like a podium, and your wife was behind you, like all dour and stuff. But now everybody has to say, "I'm sorry" about everything, and so it doesn't mean anything.
No, I think there's actually an evolution going on as well. Because, for instance, I had to go and apologize about using the term mentally retarded in order for me to get to my points about them. And that's actually was probably a good reason to do it and all this. But I was using a actual technical term. The thing is, it had sort of fallen out of usage with the medical community. And so it was really splitting hairs kind of a thing, but it wasn't worth it. What was more important was saying that thing. But now people, like comedians who make a joke and get a pushback from the outrage crowd, as some people call it, that outrage crowd is bipartisan. It's across the board. You can have those little pockets of people, and now there's pushback from it. So and then it will out itself one way or the other. So, for instance, I'm trying to think of like a good example of not Hannity, what's his name? Tucker Carlson. I mean, Tucker Carlson, it's like he was saying some racist motherfucking shit, and finally got called on it.
That was no joke. And then he was like,
and he doubled down on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man.
So
listen, that guy.
Now he's on vacation.
Yeah, but man, that would. Oh God, like it's like the last thing you want to say. But that just the last part where he doubled down was kind of like, oh, dude, like that part almost was good. Like, listen, man, you said something, and then you didn't, there wasn't the fake like gun to your head, apology. Like they're treating me very well here, and I'm being fed.
Right.
It's like it's always not. Like he's like, no.
But the problem is,
like,
like all
that
the
was like totally racist, and I'm 100% behind it.
And I'm 100% racist.
Yeah, like, dude, like, well, thanks, man. Like, at least we know where we stand.
I think also, but that's now taking. This is where we talk about the whole, death of American society, the civility. Is this what President Trump? It's like that he's taking a handbook out of that, and so that's how he figures. Well, if he can double down on ignorant shit, I can double down on it as well. It doesn't quite work that way because you're not president, and his cult of personality is bigger than Tucker's. But yeah, it's a dark time right now. But the pendulum's gonna swing again. It will swing again. You got a question up there, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just putting up these people are like, he's so hot, and I'm like, that's really. It's not. It's nice, but it's embarrassing because I have a guest. So I think we should be talking really about him and his voice.
You make a good point, Eric. Yeah, because that makes me uncomfortable.
Listen, I'm flattered, but it's rude. I mean, really, they should be.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You
Where
are hot,
was? But somebody's asking you an actual question. You already broke the big news, right? Or no? You have more.
No, Ral Arts is my partner in crime for breaking news. If you go to MSM, like mainstream media, breakingnews.com, msmbreakingnews.com, you'll see our Trump cartoons we've been doing. We've done a couple years worth of them with great voice actors. I used to do all the voices, and then voice actors started to work with me for free. And I was really happy. So we get some great people: Maurice Lamar, Steve Bloom, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, Todd Habercorn. It's just we've got lots from all. Anyway, just check it out. And our animation gets better as you go.
You're doing Trump?
No. Actually, Trump. I was going to keep Trump off of it, but the very last episode, I actually have him call in, and Jeff Nimoy does Trump's voice for me.
I was going to
but it's all the surrounding people of it, all the weird players like Carter Page and things like that, and the press people. So I play the newscaster on it, and Rachel Leon is my animator, who's also she's an amazing artist that everyone should just check out her work. Ral Arts, I think you just saw her there, so you should.
So this is your project?
It's our project, yes.
Yeah.
So I think we've done 17 episodes altogether. And I've stopped because I just got busy. I had to move, and then I've got traveling. I'm going to Norway next week for a convention. But I want to get back to them. Oh, so in answer to your question, Ral Arts, soon, I've actually been working with that lawyer, that law firm that gets you unblocked from Trump. It's worked for other people. I've done the paperwork. I've sent it in, and that was about 3 weeks ago. I imagine it'll probably take a month or so to get unblocked. So as soon as I'm unblocked, then I want to do another one, because then I can go onto his feed, and that's where you get the eyeballs, and then start posting the cartoons. So
Trump has you blocked?
Yeah. Oh, I'm blocked by the whole Trump family, except Ivanka. Yeah.
She's on here. She's saying he's so hot. He's a cool drink of water. I like her.
Yeah.
Actually, she's probably she's like a good way to sneak in, because she seems real. If both of them, like the wife and the daughter, they seem like they're maybe nice and sweet, and like they're just like he's just this overpowering, thing, and they're kind of. But no, like that makes him almost worse, because you're just as selfish and shitty. You're just pretty,
And his wife is a birther. She was defending him way back then. And
he's freaking Russian bride,
Ukrainian,
whatever. So it's the same website.
Oh shit! It's 7:05. I'm gonna have to go soon. I have dinner plans. I thought we were doing like an hour. But this has been really fun. But maybe I should answer like one or two more questions before I run.
I don't know. Somebody's asking about New Orleans. I don't think we have any more questions for you.
Wait, what's the New Orleans one? Hey DC, how was your trip to New Orleans? Any favorite moments, drinks, foods? Well, yes. Actually my trip was great. I went to I got into a great outfit. If you go to my Instagram, you can see it. It's easier to find on my Instagram. If you scroll down, you'll see me in fishnets, and I had to dress up for this party on Saturday night to go to the Mom's Ball. So I was there with Jason Marsden, who was on the cartoon with me in Rescue Bots. and it was with him and then two friends, and had an absolute blast. And I'm actually going to go back to go see Jazz Fest at the beginning of May. So yeah, I freaking love New Orleans. I love the humidity. So when do we get to see the next Wesker clip on Instagram? Well, you know, when I find something to say. So I've got there's this great app called Mug Life, I think. And so that's why I can put those out so quickly. But I have to find it has to be something worthy for him to say. And I don't want to oversaturate it, because if I do it every day, then it's like, it's not as special. It has to be special. It's Wesker after all.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Coming. Thank you for being there.
Fun.
Thank you for being. Yeah, you popped the cherry on this one. It was fun. Yeah, we went over an hour. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I didn't know what I was. I said, man, I didn't even know. Like, if there's gonna be smoke in here. Like the technology wasn't gonna work. But I think it worked. Yeah,
I like how I do all the swearing, but you just find like that one sentence that just outdoes all of my swearing.
I'm gonna get kicked off of YouTube after this one anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we got all this stuff. Yeah, plug. I was gonna say before we let you go, plug away. That's your thanks for being here in lieu of a check.
I'd rather a check. Okay. So DCDouglas.com is the website. You can see all my fun stuff there. Go to DC_Douglas on Twitter. That's where I get in fights. And go to Mr. DC Douglas on Instagram to see lots of the pictures and then stories that you don't get to see anywhere else. You only see them on Instagram. And I've got old Q&As and things all lined up there you can go and check out if you wanted to. And then for the plugs I just came out in DOA 6 as Diego. And I'm also Dr. Schroeder in Ace Combat 7 that just came out. And I'm, of course, Yoshikage Kira in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and on Toonami Saturday nights. And there's and then April 1st, Ultraman.
Good Lord. Busy man. I'm hitting buttons and I don't know. DC.
You got excited.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eric. This was fun.
Been a pleasure. Hang up. I'm going to say goodbye to these people.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you. DC Douglas, everybody. Yeah, he's cool, right? I like him. I rep him. If you want him, go to the Shepherd Agency, and you can get him and hire him. But he's not cheap. He just left. Oh, good. He's gone. Let's talk about him. No, he was great. If you like him and folks like him, other big famous voiceover people, we've got more coming. So be sure to subscribe, and you could hear me talk at more big famous voiceover people. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Goodbye.